Bismillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa la ma ba'du. So today, in this beautiful day, I want to record my project in this 20th of May in 2025. Introduce myself first. My name is Azmi Fawzan Akbar. I'm from IDM Boarding School, Parmesan Senior High School. And today, as a basic opening, but I just want to tell you guys, I want to tell a story about one of the greatest companion ever that been written in history. Even everybody knows that each Muslim must know this guy, like he's the greatest, he's the strongest or everything. I mean, like in the battles, you know that, like if you're talking about battles, then it's going to be someone that is very delighted, very obsessed with battles, that has been born, even when he's born, when he's a child, he has mastered swords, spears, any kind of weapons, and then riding horse, and then anything. And everybody knows him. Like, I'm not gonna tell you. Well, I'm going to tell you because I'm going to video. Yeah, he's Khalid Ibn Al-Walid Ibn Al-Mughira Al-Makhzumi. So he's the commander, one of the greatest commander in Islam, who has been an enemy of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ back then. It was a funny story how he became one of the enemy, one of the horsemen, as a horseman of the Quraysh Aristocrats or Banu Makhzum clan. And in the in the Uhud war, which he literally conquered the Muslims, because in Badr war Muslims wins, and then in Uhud they lose because of this guy, this one specific guy that has talented skills and everything. And long story, that he became a Muslim. He reverted into a Muslim, and then he was one of the commander in Arab military in 7th century, and he initially led a campaign against Muhammad, and as I told you, from the Quraysh, on behalf of the Quraysh. And he later became a Muslim, and he spent the remainder of his career serving Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the two of Caliphate of Rashidin, the Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and Umar ibn Khattab. And then, as I told you, he's playing the commander lead roles in Ridda wars against the rebel tribes in Arabia in between 623 to 633 before Masih. The initial campaigns in Sasanian Iraq, like the Persian kingdom, the empires, and the conquest of Byzantine and Syria in 1634 and 1638. One of the famous story of the Khalid Ibn Al-Walid is when he was a child. He has but like master some kind of swords, some kind of spears, any kind of weapons that being used in wars. And that's a magical thing because he's just a kid. Like he has mastered things that is usually for adults, but even in that kind of era, kids like 14 and 15 could become a commander, just like those stories of Muslims, great Muslim stories. And one of the great Muslim stories is Khalid bin Walid in the War of Mu'tah. So once he converts into Muslim, he then follows a war against the Roman Empire, as I am not wrong, like correct me if I'm wrong, Battle of Mu'tah. And he's against the Byzantines, he's in Byzantium. And then when he was just a soldier, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ picked 3 commanders on that time, Jafar ibn Abi Talib and some kind of 2 of them I forgot, but yeah, in that story. And then the story starts funny not that funny, because when they come to the kingdom of the empires of Byzantines, it shows that their armies are like 200,000 people, and that's like a big army against Muslim, which only has about 3,000 Muslims at that time. How can 3,000 troops fight against the 200,000 troops, which is 27 times more than the Muslims, right? And what's so powerful, what's so cool about it? The Muslims beat the Byzantines. It's funny that they win with kind of tactics that Khalid bin Walid used. So how could Khalid bin Walid command the troops even though when he is still just a soldier? So when a war starts, 3 of the commander dies in the war, Shaheed, and then everybody knows who are really eligible to become the commander of the war. And then Khalid bin Walid lifts up the flag of Islam, and then he swings his sword all the right to the left, even until his sword are broken to 9, and his swords are broken 9 times. Then he used just some of the hadiths been saying that he used some kind of metals or iron to still fight in the war. And then when night comes, the war ethic stops, and Khalid bin Walid sets a strategy. They couldn't win if they keep fighting like this. They should use a smarter strategy. So one of the smarter strategy that the Muslims or the Khalid bin Walid use for the Muslims is they change the front soldier to the back shoulder, and the back shoulder goes pick up to the front, and the left got pick up to the right, just making the Byzantines become dizzy or getting confused about who are they fighting again. And the strategy is different now. And then continue to the story. When they start the war, it doesn't show the Muslims, all the soldiers, to fight at one time, but they come from the hills, one by one army by one army, and then another army comes, and then there is one horse, or what the horsemen are spinning around on top of the hills, making the Byzantines become very confused about what are actually happening, what actually Muslims trying to think. And then what's so making them confused again is the Muslims start to retreat from their lines, going back through. And then they think like the Muslim is trying to run away. Are they going to give up, or they're trying to lure the Byzantines to follow them? And there are some more armies behind the hills. They're confused because of that. So the commander of Byzantines prevents their army to follow the Muslim. And long story short, the Muslim finally went back home. So that kind of honorable retreat of the Muslims, they win against the Byzantines, because there are more Byzantines that got killed rather than the Muslims. 200,000 against 2,000, 3,000. How could that be so amazing? So that's one of the amazing story of Khalid bin Walid. Thank you so much for listening. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.